as the leaves fall lightly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Launchpad. My name is Grant Soffer. I'm your host, and today I'm joined by Maddy O'Neal. Maddy, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited we finally get the chance to sit down and talk about everything.
I've
Gotten a chance to listen to a lot of your music, and I just want to hear from your perspective. How do you describe your music to somebody that has never heard your music before? Because I was trying to describe it to like one of my friends, and I was at a loss for words because it's just such a unique sound that I really just have not heard before.
Thanks. That's like the hardest thing to do is describe your own music to other people because like my friends are like, "Oh, like your sound is like it's so distinct now." And I'm like, I don't hear that, I just like make what I make.
Yeah.
But I guess if I like had to, I mean, it's definitely like mid-tempo bass, like soulful, funky bass music, like as a broader term. I think I've been, it's a lot more like textural and trappy and glitchy, kind of the stuff that I've been working on now. So yeah, I mean, like the funnest part to me is that I can like just defy genres with what you make, you know what I mean? It's kind of like become more obsolete. So I think that's like the fun part to me is that like I can't describe it, and that's kind of the point of music to me is like, you just have to go listen to it.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that you said it just like defies genres because it really does. It's like chill, like bass music with like a funky vibe mixed in there as well. Like it's always so fun to listen to. Like I love just like putting it on and just playing it like when I'm like cleaning the house or really just doing anything. Like it's always just such a fun vibe to listen to.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I would say it's like feel good bass music too,
Yes, definitely.
like
I've liked your recent stuff that you've come out with as well. I'll kind of hold off on talking about that so we can like kind of touch on that at the end. I know you want to like talk about your record and everything that's coming out. So
yeah.
we'll hold off on talking about that. Um, so I know who you are, and lots of people in the bass scene definitely know who you are as well. But for those that have never heard of you before, give us a little picture as to who is Maddy O'Neal.
Oh. Well, I'm a producer DJ. I grew up in St. Louis, actually. I've lived in Colorado for 14 years. That's kind of like where I got my start producing and really kind of like got immersed into the electronic scene. When I went to CU Boulder in like 2008, I moved out here. That was kind of like at the height of, you know, what I think is like the golden age of electronic music, like it was like Big G and Pretty Lights and Grizz like all like coming up at the time, and like STS9 and like the Glitch Mob and Panty Raid and all of that stuff. So like that was like kind of what I was directly influenced by as artistically, being immersed in that scene like right in front of my face. So yeah, I was heavily inspired by that whole electronic world in Boulder and Colorado. And yeah, I've been making music for like 12 years and touring full time for the past like 6. And yeah.
Okay, cool. That was gonna be one of my questions too, is kind of like how'd you get into bass music? You kind of touched on it a little bit, like just kind of
Yeah.
growing up. Was there like I know for me, like I went to a music festival and that was kind of my first introduction ever into EDM, and I just kind of fell in love with it from there. For you, was it like a particular song or something that you heard? Was it a show you went to? Do you remember like a defining moment for you that got you kind of into the scene there?
Um, so I was a big snowboarder, and like the
Okay.
community of people that I was snowboarding with, there was a lot of like DJs and producers kind of like in that world that would kind of like feed me, what they were listening to, and just a lot of like local acts too. But I remember my first Red Rock show that I went to was it was STS9, and he who shall not be named. So
We'll leave it at that then.
yeah, yeah. But that was definitely a big eye opener, like going to a show like that. Just at Red Rocks specifically too. I was just like saw the magnitude and like the community that was out there, and just like it really just opened my eyes. Yeah, so I think there was a lot of aspects, just like the snowboard community, and then like meeting people that were in music, you know, like making beats from that community, and then like just going to shows at places like Red Rocks. And there wasn't necessarily a festival. I didn't go to a lot of festivals before I started producing. I went to Lollapalooza when I was in high school, but that
Okay.
was kind of like on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, that's why me playing Lollapalooza a couple weeks ago was like this big full circle moment, because I was just like, holy
That's
shit,
awesome.
like I'm back here now. But
I
yeah,
did you I wasn't at Lollapalooza. Did you say that during your set that like this was your first festival that you went to or
I I think I did. I need to go watch
okay.
that again. I was like, so like sometimes you just like black out when you get on the mic.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I just said.
No, because as an audience member, that's always like my favorite thing when an artist says like I went to this festival like 5 years ago, right where you guys were, and now I'm up here playing. Like that's always so cool to see. I love seeing that. So
Yeah,
I hope you probably did say it, but
I
like you said,
probably
you
did at
probably
the end.
yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that Red Rocks is just like a casual venue that you guys get to just kind of go to. Do you live
We're,
close to the venue over there?
yeah, I mean, it's probably takes me 25 minutes to get
Oh,
there.
that's
Um,
beautiful.
we're very spoiled. I mean, that's part of like what draws so many people here. It's like you can
Hmm.
go snowboarding, it's an hour and a half away. You can like go up and take like 6 runs and drive back to Denver and be like, okay, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, everything is just
Denver's
like,
beautiful.
yeah, it's a good place to be for sure.
I was just out, I just saw my first Red Rock show out there. I went out there for Gorgon City back in April. That was a really cool show to go to. And that
Oh,
venue is just amazing. So I love that that was like one of your first shows.
yeah,
That's a lot to take in right there. So
yeah,
that's a very cool venue to go to.
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about like how you got into like DJing and then like producing and like making your own music. You said you've been making your own music for how long did you say?
Probably like 11 years at this point. I started in like
Okay.
2000, well, 2010. Yeah, so like 11 or 12 years.
Okay. Were you like DJing before that, or was DJing kind of something you started picking up after you started producing?
No, I kind of, it feels backwards to me, because I feel like
Hmm.
most people start DJing and then they're like, oh, I want to make my own music to play.
Yep.
But I started producing first, and then it wasn't until like a couple of years ago that I really started DJing on like CDJs. And you know, like I play my live sets in Ableton, which is what I produce music in. So it's kind of more like a live, kind of more interactive
Like an
um
experience kind of thing.
performance, yeah, than DJing. So I've actually had a lot of fun over the last like 4 years, just really diving into DJing and playing house sets, and like, you know, because like that came later for me. Um, but yeah, I honestly I got into producing pretty randomly. I was kind of like really inspired by all of the things that I was experiencing in Boulder when I was in school there. And I came from a musical family. My brother and my dad were in bands, played multiple instruments, and I kind of never stuck with an instrument, but I was always around music my entire life. Like it was just part of me.
Okay.
So yeah, I gave my brother the software that I used to produce for Christmas one year. It's called Ableton Live, and there was like an extra disc in it as like a demo version. So
Okay.
my brother gave it to me and was like, you should just, you know, you should just fuck around with this. And because he knew that I always like envied him, you know. So I took the disc and I installed it like that day. And then I went to Guitar Center and I bought a MIDI controller, like a launch pad thing. And I was just like instantly like blown away by the possibilities, you know. So I just started watching YouTube videos and like trying to learn as much as I possibly could.
It's
And
so cool.
yeah, I just became addicted, and the internet was literally like my school. That like I don't have any formal training. I just kind of like researched things online and hung out with other people that were kind of doing the same thing and just sharing ideas back and forth. So
That's so cool. So you had to like teach yourself all this kind of stuff.
yeah, which is wild to think about like now, because I've like 10 years later and how much I've learned. But yeah, it was kind of cool because I didn't like, no one like told me the right way to do anything.
Hmm.
I think that kind of helped me develop my sound in a
Yeah.
unique way too, because I was like, there's no wrong answer, you know?
Yeah. I like that. What advice would you give to like an up and coming producer like trying to make their own music? Like, or what advice you wish you got back when you started making your own music?
Um, just don't give up because it's really frustrating, like especially when you're first starting to make music, because like the software is so complicated. Um, and it can be really isolating if you're just like sitting at home by yourself, like trying to learn. Like it gets fun after you learn how to do what you want to do,
Yeah.
you need to like learn how to navigate the software before you can actually like execute your ideas. So I think number one is the beginning is going to be the most frustrating, but as soon as you get past that, that's when it gets really fun.
Okay. That's good advice right there.
Yeah,
That's definitely
yeah,
good
yeah.
advice.
It's like a
Oh,
big learning curve.
yeah, no, I think that's kind of the thing that stops a lot of people from producing, or is the biggest roadblock for a lot of people is they just kind of they get frustrated or get stuck, or it's not coming out how they want it to right away kind of thing. But it is one of those things like it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time to get really good at it. So
Yeah,
like being able to spend that time and not give up on it is really good advice.
yeah, and like be vulnerable, like put out the songs that you make. Like when I was first starting, I was just putting stuff on SoundCloud and I would like get feedback, and like just releasing something is like
Hmm.
an accomplishment in itself, even
Yeah.
if you're not like doing anything with it, like just let go of that idea and move on. So yeah,
Yeah,
second
that's
piece of
good advice too, because I
yeah,
think a lot of people tend to get stuck in the idea of, oh, it's not perfect or it's not ready kind of thing. And
yeah,
it's like it might not ever be perfect, but it's got to be your version of perfect and
yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah, I know people who've made music for 10 years and never put a single song out. And now it's like this big like build up moment. They're like, well, I'm too scared. And then I'm like, well,
Yeah, and now it really needs to be perfect if you've
yeah,
been sitting on it for
exactly.
that long.
Yeah.
And then
Just
the
be,
pressure just builds up more and more at that
yeah,
point.
it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, exactly. You touched on it a little earlier, like some of those artists that inspired you when you first started to make music. Who inspires you now when you make music? Do you kind of still look back at those old artists that inspired you, or do you have like new artists you're looking at or kind of drawing influence from?
Um, I listen to all types of music. Like I love just like digging through Spotify, just because the internet has made like it's so accessible to like all these underground artists. Like I love just like digging for stuff that people don't know anything about.
Hmm.
um I'm super inspired by my friends, just like the people around me that are also, we've kind of like grown together over the last 10 years. I think that's like my direct inspiration, is kind of like pushing each other to do better.
Okay.
um but yeah, so some artists that I'm super inspired by right now are Closey. She's absolutely killing it, and it just
Hmm.
having like another badass female that is just like in my corner is
Yeah.
incredible. Like just connecting with her over the last couple years is just like, we're like, when you meet another female producer, you're like, oh my god, we exist. You're like, yes. um
You guys actually made a track together.
yeah, yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Zest.
Yep. And
Yeah,
that's I think that's one of your most popular tracks right now at the moment, right?
yeah.
What was that experience like making a track with her?
um it was amazing. We actually made that song over 2020, and we were
Okay.
both kind of like feeling not super inspired, like kind of like
Hmm.
that That was a theme over that
Yeah.
period of
Yep.
time. But I was just kind of like starting ideas and sending them out to people because like having another creative mind to bounce ideas off of was kind of very helpful in that time. So I just sent her a couple ideas. She really was digging that one. So I sent her the project, she worked on it, and then we got together and finished it together. And it was cool because like it doesn't really sound like me or her, like what you would expect from us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can hear like both of our inspirations like sprinkled in.
Hmm.
It's kind of like this just like magical thing. And her computer actually crashed
Oh no.
right when we were finishing it. So like we just had to roll with the final edit that we had. Luckily it was like pretty much done, but her computer just completely shut down. So this
Oh
is the
man.
last piece of music that came out of the computer. And we were like, well, we have to just like master this and put it out because, you know, it's great.
Well, I mean, it ended up coming out sounding great.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, luckily the last bounce that we had was pretty much there. So,
that's
but yeah.
good. That's good. What's it like collabing with other artists or making music with other people? What's that experience like for you?
It's awesome. I really would prefer making music with other people just because it's like such an interactive like experience. I usually have to like connect with someone on a personal level as well
Hmm.
as like really enjoying each other's music. Because you kind of have to like figure out what people's workflow is and like, you know, you're like getting to know someone on a different level when you make a song with them too, like how they work and how their brain operates and
Yeah.
all those things. So it's really fun. You always learn a lot from someone else when you sit down and work because everyone works different ways. So it's, you know, it's just an overall cool experience. I don't think I've ever had a bad, well, that's not true.
We don't have to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Well,
But that's cool. I'm glad for the most part it's always a good experience making music with other people there.
totally.
Uh so we talked a little bit. You just played Lollapalooza a couple weeks back. I know you've played other big festivals too. Like I know you played Electric Forest, you've played at North Coast. What are some other big like festivals and shows you've played, or what are some like shows or festivals you're hoping to play in the next coming years?
Um, hopefully I'll be back at Electric Forest next year. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. That was one of the coolest festivals I've ever played. Just like it's so immersive and there's just like art everywhere. It's just like it's so well done. Like I feel like they thought through every detail of that festival. Um, so that is one I hope to be back at for sure. Um, Shambhala, I was booked in 2020, the one year that it didn't happen.
Oh no.
So I'm like, hey guys, I'd love to be back.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. So I hope to be back at that one. That's one that like everyone just raves about, saying it's just
Yeah.
like coolest experience ever. Kind of similar to Electric Forest vibes, just like very immersive,
Mhm.
community based. Um, yeah. And my favorite festival is Summer Camp Music Festival. I've
Okay.
kind of like become a local there over the past like I've played there like 7 years in a row or something
Oh
crazy.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know how it happened, but like I just got like doctrinated to be like one of the people that play every year. And it's always just a bunch of friends and it feels like very like wholesome in a way that's like I don't know. It's like it feels like a homegrown festival.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I love that. And
yeah,
especially when you play there like so many years in a row too, you can kind of see like the festival growth and like what's
yeah,
changing year to year and like but it's always the same and you kind of recognize a lot of the same people and like similar vibes and like that's cool. I love that you've gotten that experience to play
yeah,
at a consistent festival like that. That's cool.
yeah. I feel like they like helped like grow me too, which is cool. So I feel like it's very dear to my heart.
I love that. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Uh, So what are some like upcoming in terms of like stuff that's been announced, what are some upcoming shows and festivals you have on your calendar here?
Um, so this weekend I'll be in Ohio for Secret Dreams Festival, just
Okay.
kind of, I think it's like kind of a smaller festival. Then after that, it's same but different in California, which has a amazing lineup. I'm really excited for that one, and I know it's on like the beach, which is always a
Cool.
plus.
Yeah.
Um, then I'm doing High Ground Festival in Denver. Uh,
Okay.
I'm headlining, or I'm one of the headliners at this festival in Washington called Ohm on the Range.
Okay.
That's all in one weekend. And
Oh
then
wow.
yeah, yeah, the three festivals in a weekend is they get crazy.
That's a
Um,
lot. Yeah.
um,
What are
Los
those weekends like for you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but I'm just curious, like, what are those weekends like for you? Like having to go from like festival to festival. Is that stressful at all, or?
it's pretty stressful. I mean, airports have been a little crazy lately.
Hmm.
Um, so like as long as the travel is smooth, you know, I've gotten when you tour all the time, like I feel like you become a pro at like adapting to environments very quickly. Cause like that's one
Yeah,
thing about it. You're just like, oh, like, okay, now I'm here. I have to like adjust to this and like take in this and just kind of like get settled in. So yeah, as long as the travel is smooth and flights are on time and all of that. Um, but yeah, sometimes I get home from the three festival weekends and I'm like, what just happened? Like,
you can't even like take it in the
yeah,
moment.
there's no like processing the in between.
Yeah,
You have to like go, sleep
yo,
if you can, and then you want to hang
that's
out
crazy.
afterwards if you can. But yeah, I've learned to like thrive in the chaos.
That's good. And that's you kind of have to at that point,
Yeah,
right?
it's part of the gig.
Yeah, honestly. Okay, let's talk a little bit. We are kind of running low on time, so let's talk a little bit about some of your upcoming music that you've released. I know you just had a song come out today called Change of Pace. I actually got a chance to listen to it earlier. Very,
Hey.
very good song for anyone that hasn't listened. Definitely should go listen. 'Cause again, like very unique sound, very in line with like a lot of the music you've been putting out lately. Very fun song to listen to. I
Yeah.
know that's part of like a bigger record that you have coming out. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so this was the third single leading up to my full-length album, which is a 10 track LP coming out September 20th. So that's like a
About a month
little,
away.
yeah, it's coming up very soon. Yeah, that the album I've been working on for like the last 8 months probably. I started it kind of like last holiday season,
Okay.
at least starting to like conceptualize it. Um, so yeah, I'm super proud of this record. It's 10 songs. I did experiment a lot and, BPM ranges that people aren't expecting of me. I just kind of like went for it. And I wanted it to kind of be songs that you could listen to at any time of day, no matter what you're doing. Um, and I definitely cover a lot of range of styles and emotions and just kind of like, I think it's cohesive from front to back in a way that like sounds like me more so than I've ever felt, which is really cool to be
That's
able to
good.
say.
I like that you're able to say that because I think that's every artist's dream right there to be able to put something out and feel just very like proud of the sound that they're putting out. So
Yeah.
it sounds like you're really happy with how it all came together, and I'm excited to be able to listen to the whole thing when it comes out in a month here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm going to go. I said I was going to go scream from a mountaintop the day that it comes out.
As you should. Hey, that sounds like it's right in your backyard over there.
Yeah. I'll just take a little walk over there.
Walk over to Red Rocks. I'm still super jealous about that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Pretty wild.
Where's the best place for people to stay connected with you after this year?
So I really try my best to read all of my messages on Instagram. Obviously I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and anywhere that you can find me, but that's kind of like where I try to be the most active about interacting with people, just because you gotta pick one because it's just too much sometimes. So yeah, definitely shoot me a message on Instagram. I comment and share my stuff, and I'll recognize your name over and over again too. I also have a Facebook group called the Mad Squad,
Okay.
which we can link in this article too.
Yes,
If you
definitely can.
join the team, I'm really trying to like, you know, as much as I love connecting with my fans, I want everyone else to be able to be connected too. Because it's all about community to me.
Yeah,
Like,
building a little community together. I like
yeah,
that.
finding like-minded people and ganging up.
Hmm.
So yeah, the Mad Squad is also a great place to connect too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will definitely link all that in the video here. Anything else that you want to touch on before we wrap up here?
Um, Definitely check out my tour schedule. I'm announcing a bunch of dates for fall in the next coming weeks. I'll be real busy this fall. Hopefully, I'm coming through everyone's city. Not everyone,
Okay.
but most of your cities.
As much as you can, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I have a bunch of fall dates announcing very soon. So be sure to check out the tour schedule. And yeah, come say hi on whatever platform you are, and there's plenty of music on the way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. One last thing here that we like to practice at moon landing. We love practicing gratitude. So with that, what are some things that you're thankful for?
Um, I'm very thankful for the people in my life. I was trying to like reflect because this is kind of a big moment for me, putting out this record and kind of feeling like a new chapter. And I was just reflecting back on all the people that have been in my life and supporting me and encouraging me and, you know, just kind of like being there for me this whole journey. And like, I wouldn't be the person and the artist I am today without the people around me. So, and that includes all my fans too. It's like people weren't listening to my music, it would be very different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big thing that I'm thankful for. And just having a roof over my head and, you know, being able to create for a living is pretty fucking cool. So,
No,
yeah.
super cool. You're definitely
Yeah.
living out a lot of people's dreams here.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely very happy for you, and I'm glad we got the chance to connect and talk like this. It was really really nice talking to you about everything.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Well, cool. We appreciate having you on. With that, thank you guys for joining another episode of The Launchpad. I'm your host, Grant Soffer, and we will see you guys next time.